Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Gen X Unhinged. I'm David Cole. Across the screen from me is Christian Cole, and we are Gen X Unhinged, and we are a bit unhinged. So what
Yes,
do you
we
know
are.
today,
Yes,
Christian?
we are. Hey,
Yeah,
I know we're making Iran pay for stupidity. I know that.
I tell you, they can't be that. They're just so stubborn,
They
I
are, but they
guess,
really are.
like
They
a young
really are.
kid. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like, hey, it's like watching a 19-year-old woman get pulled over. You know what I mean? I saw this video yesterday. I'm not kidding you. So this girl's driving. She's got to be 19 or 20. Blows by this cop, 60 miles an hour in a 30, gets pulled over, standing the cop, just being an obnoxious asshole. I mean, she's just being an asshole. So then she says, well, you just need to call my dad. So she calls the dad, and, being a dad, which you understand too, is, you hear this guy talk to his daughter, and the dad's like, why are you being so rude? Like, why are you being so disrespectful to this cop right now? Like, you're so cocky. Now you're going to go to jail, right? Now you're not going to do anything this weekend. It just goes on and on and on. And I'm just listening to this guy talk to his daughter on the phone because it's on body cam. And I'm just thinking to
Yeah,
myself, I could see myself talking to my daughter that way. Like, what are you doing?
you can
Like,
relate.
yeah, I can
Yeah,
relate. Like, what are you doing? Just you made a mistake, okay? You made a mistake. You passed this guy. You were going way too fast. You're being stupid. We've all done it. I've done it. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times I've done it, but let me tell you what I never did. I never ended up in jail for it. Ever. Ever. Because when the cops walked up, they're
yeah.
like, hey, my first speeding ticket was on Turner Road. I was doing 74 miles an hour. It is 35 miles an hour. Okay, I was doing 75. I didn't go to jail. I got a hell of a ticket, mind you. But I didn't go to jail for it because the cop walked up, and he's like, hey, you know what I pulled you over for? And I'm like, I don't know. How fast were you going when you caught me? You know what I mean?
Pretty good. Yeah.
You know, how
Pretty
fast
good
were you?
idea why you
Yeah,
pulled me
yeah,
over.
yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not stupid. I'm to the point where, at my age, if I'm speeding and I go by a cop and I'm going too fast and I see the cop turn around, I just pull over. I don't even wait. I don't even wait for him to get behind me with the lights. I just pull because I know he's coming. You know what I mean? I
And
know
it's
what I
usually
did.
better.
And sometimes they'll just drive right by me. You
Right.
know what I
It's
mean?
usually
Because they really,
better.
yeah, yeah. They're like, okay, well, he's pulling over. He knows he's screwed up, and I don't want to get out of the car.
Right.
So,
Right.
hey, no cop wants to get out of the car in the rain and give you a ticket. Okay. They would much rather you just do what you're supposed to do than have to get out in the rain and ride you. I mean, nobody wants to do that. No, I mean, there's people who work in the rain all the time, right? That's what they do. I fish
Yeah.
in the rain, whatever. But it doesn't mean that, I mean, like, I don't mind fishing in the rain, but if I'm a cop, I don't want to get out and give you a ticket in the rain. I want to sit in my car. I'm writing reports. I'm doing whatever. You know what I mean? They don't want to do this. I'm just saying.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. We were just talking about this morning. I don't know. I just went on a rant. I don't. I just no.
I think we were talking about Iran. The
Yeah,
Iranians are a
Iran.
lot, a
Yeah,
lot like our
because
19-year-old, our
they're
19-year-old
stupid.
daughters.
Because they're just stupid. They're just no. I'm just saying they're 18 and 19-year-old daughters. Honestly, they have a correlation with Iran. They don't listen to shit.
Yeah.
They think they know everything, right? They can fix the world. They're gonna do it their way, and you can't tell them anything different. You know what I mean? No
Right.
matter how much you tell them, they know everything. They know everything about
Right.
everything ever to know anything. Iran is the same way. It's like they're like a bunch of out of control teenagers over there. Point blank. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
It's
It's not even out of
truly
control.
unbelievable. And
they're not out of control. They're just cocky and confident in nothing.
so, just in case you've been kind of not paying attention to the news, Iran did 4 separate drone strikes on this cargo ship. The U.S. intercepted 3 of them. 1 of them hit the cargo ship. Didn't destroy it or anything, but it did hurt it pretty bad. And Trump's like, hey, this is not what we agreed to. So there's going to be a price to be paid. And
Right.
They are paying the price right now.
You broke the
unfortunate, but
you broke the negotiation.
what choice does Trump have? What choice does he have but to do this?
He doesn't. You know
right?
what?
I mean, he has to do it.
I agree. And it goes back to the teenager analogy, right? Or the child analogy.
Yeah.
How many times do you threaten to spank a kid before you have to actually spank the kid? You know what I mean? I mean, you know, it took one time with my daughter when she was really young. And I you know what? Her whole life, I never got past 3. I would start counting, and by 2, she would panic. And by 3, whatever it was doing would stop. It would stop. You know what I mean? I mean, just, and you can tell in today's youth that we stopped punishing, that we stopped the spanking. You know what I mean? We stopped it. You could tell. We spared the rod. And that's what they're doing, and that's how they're acting.
Yep. Hey, have you seen so there was a poll taken by CNN, like evidently NBC and ABC. Evidently Rubio has surged ahead of Vance as a potential presidential candidate for the Republican Party in 2026. That's good. We brought that up. I mean, we brought it up 5 months ago that Rubio was starting to really show his stuff. And now evidently everybody's catching up to that because he's starting. I mean, Vance isn't doing bad. No, he's just not quite as out there and on top of things, it seems, as Rubio is. So, well, but interesting.
But the vice president's job isn't that. You know, the Secretary of State is basically the vice president for all intents and purposes. Like, you know, you have the president, you have the vice president, and then you have Rubio, chief. He's the Secretary of the
Chief
State,
of Staff.
Chief of Staff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So in reality, he does more of the work. You know, he's more of the top executive. You know what I mean? You have the president, the vice president, but the CFO is the one in charge of the company. You know what I mean? I mean, for all intents and purposes, you know, and that's what he's doing. He's out face to face. He's doing that. He's meeting with the people. He's doing what needs to be done. And not that Vance is not doing his job. Vance is doing a great job as vice president. But the scope of the vice president is basically just to be there if the president goes down. That's what the vice president's role is.
Yeah, but I think, you know, for MAGA people, they're going to start, Rubio is going to start moving ahead of Vance because Vance is just not that same in-your-face type of person. Now,
not yet.
The Democrats are probably, not yet. Not yet. That's true. That's a very good point because he's shown he can do it. I mean, like you said, he's doing a great job as the vice president. It's just not as in the public eye as much as Rubio has been. So that's helped Rubio out considerably.
Right. And I think that if Vance was vice president again under Rubio, by the time he was done with that, he would make a great president. And you got to remember something. Rubio is older than Vance. Rubio is pure Gen X. Vance, I think, is on the tip. I think he's just barely Gen X. You know what I mean? And we're just built differently. I don't care what anybody says. Gen Xers are built differently. We are. We're latchkey kids. We are. We didn't do, we drank out of a hose. We didn't have bottled water. We drank out of a hose. That's just the way it was. We rode in the back of pickup trucks. We didn't have warning labels on anything. You know what I mean? You didn't know electricity hurt till you stuck your finger in a light socket. I mean, and that is reality. If you took the way we were raised right now and implemented it on somebody that's let's say 16 now, it would be considered child abuse. It would be considered child abuse.
Yeah.
But back in the 80s, and that's the thing, it was never abuse. It was survival of the fittest in a lot of ways. Not like you say that, but not survival of the fittest like you die, but survival of the fittest that if you didn't move, you had nothing. You know what I mean? If you didn't do anything, you had nothing. Like, I mean, when was the last time you heard somebody say, man, I can't wait till he turns 18 to get out my house, get a job, get on his own. Good. Parents don't do that anymore. Parents, especially because you got a lot of single moms that have single kids and they don't want their kids to leave the house. You know what I mean? Our generation was, oh, man, you're 17 and a half. I don't know where you're going to go. Huh, you better figure something out. 18, you out, you go. You know what I mean? So, I mean,
It's
It is
Freedom
what it is.
Day.
It is Freedom Day, right? It's time for me to start living as a parent. But Rubio's
Yeah.
just built different. When you watch him talk in Congress, when you watch him talk to people, he is just built different. He is no bullshit Gen X all the time. And that's why I think he'll be a great president. And I think Vance will also be a great president, 100%. But I think that as of right now, the shining light is Rubio. And not because he's better and not because he's smarter and not because he has different beliefs, but he's been in the game longer. He understands it more. He is he's from Cuban descent. I believe he's Cuban.
Yeah.
He has a United States perspective that I know of that no president has ever had.
Right.
You know, I mean, so
Right.
I'm cheering for him all the way. All the way.
So, every once in a while we bring up the topic. Who do you think is anybody rising up in the Democratic Party right now that you can even think of? Is it really anybody?
Well, last I heard, Hakeem stupid ass Jeffries was going to run. This is the deal. Every time they put somebody up, I get excited. That's how bad they are.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, push that guy through. Push him through. You know what I mean? Because if you look, every time somebody elevates, right? Swalwell elevated to governor. Becerra, he's going to burn. I don't know. I read a bunch of stuff about this last night. So Bonta is our Attorney General, right? So he's tied into some Asian dude from Oakland, and there's like some video coming out, and this Oakland dude is about to go to prison, and he's saying that Bonta and him, they're all in this big giant thing with sex trapping of minors. I mean, it is unbelievable. So Bonta has spent $375,000 to $400,000 of his election fund for representation for his attorneys to defend against this. Right. Like it is. Hey, I am telling you, the California crime family, it is unbelievable. The Democratic crime family in California, it's never ending. It just keeps going and going and going. And why not? They've been untouched since Barack Obama became president. Right? When Trump became president in 2016, right, he was president for like 10 minutes. He was president for 4 years. But I mean, he had everybody was against him. Nobody did shit. Nobody fixed anything. He got some stuff done by luck. You know what I mean? And not that they weren't good ideas, but he was never really the president. You know what I mean? I mean, he was, but he wasn't. So you've had these people that have been doing this for years. I mean, Governor Newsom, you jackass. You got a memo in 2022, had an audit saying there was massive abusive Medicare fraud in California. You just ignored it. And the thing is they weren't ignoring it. It's just like Tim Walz. They saw it. They knew what was happening, Dave. They saw it all. They were just trying to figure out how they were going to get their cut.
Right. That's what it was. It was just, how do I get mine? How do I get mine?
No, I'm not going to stop it, but how do I get mine? You know? Yep. So it just never ceases to amaze me. I mean, every day I start reading it, and I don't get like they're going to go to jail status, but it's kind of like, the cat that ate the canary. You know what I mean? You're just sitting there just watching it like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? I mean, just let him burn, So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hey, like I said, we may never see anybody in jail, but just the fact that they're talking about it on mainstream media, that's the best part for me. That's a victory for me.
Sure. But to go back to the Democrats, they just, like you said, they keep putting up somebody, Jeffries, AOC, Kamala, Mendami. I mean,
right.
Who's going to vote for these people? I mean,
nobody.
They're not going. Nobody. It's just not going to happen. And you're looking at it going, well, what kind of path can the Democrats forged that will make this even a race in 2026. And I hate thinking like that, but I just don't know what's going to happen. But it just seems like the Republicans are really starting to take power.
I mean, we're coming
in
into
many areas.
We're coming into the midterms, and we really don't have any idea what the Democrats are doing, because they don't even know what they're doing. Usually by now, well, like you said with Gavin, or like I said, we said with Gavin Newsom, he said he was going to run for president. Remember? And now he can't because of his kids.
Yeah.
That's a bunch of bullshit. But usually by the midterms, you have somebody moving forward in both parties. Like we're talking about Rubio and Vance right now, right? We're talking about them. Then that's usually what you do at the midterms.
Yeah.
The Democrats don't talk about anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Right.
So, I mean, it's like, I mean, I don't, they're going to, the Democratic, come watch what'll happen next year. There's going to be like the gubernatorial race in California. There's going to be 700,000 Democrats. Every Democrat in the country is going to run for president. Watch. It's going to be crazy.
And why not? Nobody's a clear-cut leader. Yeah.
No.
I mean, even old Pete Buttigieg could run again.
Well, yeah.
Right?
If he gets his kids back, I don't know if you read about that. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So
somebody
there's
made
a
report that he was abusing kids, and hey, it was anonymous. I'll give him that, but it was anonymous enough to remove his kids for 24 hours. And I don't know if you know anything about CPS. I know a little bit about it, but it's very difficult to do so. You can investigate it, but usually, within the home. But to have your children removed for 24 hours, that's pretty substantial. I would think. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty substantial.
Well, I would think so as well. And the fact of the matter is he ran for president, at one time he was considered somebody that had a chance to become our president. Why wasn't he able to hide all this and kind of keep it out of the spotlight? Because that's usually what these people do.
Right.
Unless it's pretty serious. I mean, this seems pretty serious.
I'm just a common citizen like you. And if CPS shows up at my door and I've done nothing wrong at all, you better show me some evidence before you remove my child, or we're going to have a fight.
That's right.
We're going to have a fight beyond all fights. You better show me something. Like, you better, not just somebody call, okay? Because anybody could just call. I want to see something, and that's fine. If you have the evidence to do that, then you do it. You know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do. It's your job. Protect the kids. That's what you do. But don't just show up on my door and say, hey, we got a phone call. I'm taking your kid for 24 hours. Both of them. Woo!
Right.
That'd be war. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, that'd be making your house a compound and ready to fight, because you don't want them taking your kids.
Absolutely. Especially if you've done nothing wrong over a phone call. It's just a phone call.
Exactly.
And people make that crap up all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So that kind of leads into, making sure you're gunned up and all that. CDP Firearms LLC.com sponsors our show. So, if you're worried about stuff like that, CDP Firearms LLC.com. Check into it.
Please do. Please do. And that brings us on to the Second Amendment violation stuff going on in California. We ban Glocks. We listen. Yeah. They say Glock style weapons. So any pistol, I mean, let's just be real here, because I mean, it's like banning, hey, we're going to ban iPhones and things like iPhone. Okay. That's every iPhone, right? I mean, it doesn't matter who makes it. I mean, it just, and it's stupid. The federal state attorney for California is basically threatening the state, going, look, you're violating the Second Amendment right. This is not legal. This is not legal any way, shape, or form. It just went to the Supreme Court, and because Hawaii did the same thing, Supreme Court shut them down and basically said, you can't do that. And I saw Hiroshima or whatever her name is out there in Hawaii saying that, that it's something like that. I don't know.
Just look it up.
Yeah, look it up. But and so they
look it up. You'll see it.
Yeah. sorry. But yeah, there was this whole thing about they did some gun thing and they banned a bunch of weapons, and Supreme Court said, no, man, you can't do that. And so she was all upset, crying and whatever.
So did you read about the Antifa terrorist cell? I know you did because you brought it up to me last night. The Antifa terrorist cell in Texas, where 9 Antifa terrorists. Well, 8 have been thrown in jail, and the 9th one looks like it's going to happen here soon.
Yeah, they got like
murder,
400 years. They got like 400 years combined sentences.
Yeah.
I mean, they laid them away.
Yeah.
They laid them away. And then I saw a lady this morning talking about a book that she wrote about this and how unfair it was and how they were targeted. They were targeted. Oh, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Okay, you printed out flyers. You went there. You shot a cop. Okay, what more do you want? Like, I mean, how much more terroristic is that? I'm sorry, but that's a terroristic act. And it is attempted murder. And it's a conspiracy to commit attempted murder. Okay, you set it up, and people, that's where people are just so crazy. If you rob a store and you come out and you pull a gun at a police officer, right? Said police officer shoots you and hits somebody behind it. Did you know you go to prison for that murder? Did you know that that's how it should be? So if you come out and you point a gun at the cop shoots you, misses you, hits somebody behind you, you as the bad guy are going to get charged with the murder of that innocent citizen because he never would have been shot by that cop if you hadn't done what you did. And that's exactly what they did in this case. And they buried him. I'm proud. I'm proud of them. It's the first one.
Yeah,
it's the first one for Antifa. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
As a terrorist organization, which is good. We need more because it's case law now.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you think you say that really? I've heard Antifa. Well, it doesn't matter.
I like to throw a G on the end of it. But I don't. But yeah. You could just say anti-fucks. I mean, they're bullshit. They really are. They're just anarchists. At the end of the day, that's all they are is anarchists. That's all they care about. They just want to F everything up. They're a bunch of spoiled little brats. You know what? And I got to be honest with you. They're a bunch of white, privileged, liberal pieces of shit. That's what they are. That's what they do. That's how they act. Come on now. They're civilized people. We are all civilized here. You know what? You want to go protest, but you have become a terrorist cell. I'm sorry. You have.
Yep.
And they're all white, and they're all under the age of 25 to 29, number one. And then I was also watching the other thing. Have you noticed that the problem is the boomers? The liberal boomers are our problem right now. And the reason why they're a problem is because they have nothing to do. They're retired, they have money, and all they do is sit around and watch the news all day long, and they get all fired up over bullshit rhetoric, and they have nowhere else to go. They have nothing else to do, so they go out to these protests and just spew bullshit. That's what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens all the time. Man, can we get some pinochle clubs going? I mean, can we get some shuffleboard leagues? I mean, let's get them something to do other than this. Let's get them out of politics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm talking about the conservative boomers too. They're just sitting at home talking trash.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Get out of politics. You're done. You're retired. Go have a good life. Go call your Democratic friend. Go sit on the porch and drink coffee and shoot the shit. Talk about the weather like you're supposed to do. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't get upset, but it's like you have all these baby boomers that are older, and you know what? Why are you stressing yourself out over politics that it doesn't matter to you? Because by the time any of this happens, you're not going to be here. By the time that Muslims take over the country, I don't even think we'll be here. You know what I mean? Because I don't think it will ever happen. And there's no reason for boomers to be arguing about this. You know what I mean? It's spewing such hate.
Yeah, but I mean, I agree with you that when they're spewing hate and all that gets ridiculous. But it is, as I get older, there are things that I see that I'm like, well, we need to try to change this as a society, because I'd like to leave a better society for my kids than some of the things that are happening right now.
Right.
And so I could see people thinking that way.
And you're right. And you're right to think that way. But what you're not is not a baby boomer that's 84 years old, stressed to the max over the fact that Mendami became the mayor of New York. If you don't live in New York,
that has no impact on you.
There's no impact on you at all, but you're taking on the stress.
Yeah.
Which is going to put you in an early grave.
Well, you know.
Well, not really.
I lived a good life.
Yeah,
they lived a good life.
No, they did. They did. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, it just, I would think that when you get to that age that you're thinking more of how people will receive who you were on this earth as a person.
Right.
And how godly you were as a person other than who you aren't. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I would hope when I get into my 80s or 90s, whenever I get there, hopefully I don't, to be honest with you. But if I do get there, I would hope that I would be righting wrongs. I would hope that I would be saying, you know what, I was really wrong here, or I was really right here. And I shouldn't have treated said person like this, especially if they're a family member. I never should have treated said person like this, and I was wrong for doing so. And that's where I hope that I will be, because if I'm a Christian and I'm about God and I'm about love and I'm about heaven and Christianity, then holding myself accountable for my actions to where I didn't act like a Christian person or I didn't act in a godly manner, I would feel like I have to hold myself accountable for that, because more likely than not, I'm going to have my day with God. And I would like to be able to explain that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that was wrong. But, and I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but I don't want to go in there unarmed. You know what I mean? I don't want God to show up with this list of shit and be like, hey, you know what I mean? And you're like, well, you know what I mean? I don't want excuses. I want to be able to say, well, in my own heart, when I die, I want to be able to know that I righted my wrongs and that I acted in a godly manner. And when I didn't act like in a godly manner, that I went back and apologized and explained why I did this, why it was wrong, and why it is important for me and my own faith that you understand that that's not how a godly person acts. Because I don't want you to act off of how I acted, because I gave you the wrong impression of what Christianity is. Just an opinion.
That's right out of the Bible. So you're actually being very biblical right there. So good job. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
And seriously.
Wasn't the
intention. Well, so on a lighter note, we both are wearing our gear today. And so just want to remind everybody that we have genxunhinged.myshopify.com, where you can go get Gen X Unhinged apparel. We'd love for you to do that.
Hey, don't forget, got the red cross on the back.
That's right.
I get a lot of comments about that when people see it.
I got the earlier version. I don't have the red cross. I'm going to have to get. I'll have to get a more recent version. So
but
it's
really cool.
That hat is sharp. That hat is sharp. So.
Yes, I like it. I like it a lot. I wear it all the time.
Yeah. So last thing to talk about today, we kind of brought this up, and you brought it up, and I thought it was a pretty astute view, is that the millionaire and billionaire tax, who's going to really get hurt by this? Because as you said, if you're making all of this money, you're actually not taking a salary. I mean, if you own a company like Elon Musk, he doesn't take a salary. No, he doesn't. He. That's not how he does it, because he doesn't want to pay all the incredible taxes. And so what he'll do is he'll take a loan against his company. And so since his companies keep growing, that loan is not taxable, and he's able to pay it back over time without any issues. And so who's really going to be hurt by these taxes is as it keeps going down the chain of people and where they stand on how much they're worth and how much they have. It's going to be the people that are doing well, but not doing incredible. They're just doing well, and they're just going to get taxed even more than they are right now. And so that's kind of
if you put it in retrospect, the richest people are the brokest people on paper, right? Because when it comes to on paper, because if I, Christian Cole, am worth, let's say Gen X Unhinged is worth $12 million, right? And I hold shares in Gen X Unhinged, right? I'm not going to pay myself $12 million. I'm going to pay myself $50,000 a year so that my income tax stays low. That's what millionaires and billionaires do. Because the people who don't, you're stupid. I'm sorry. That's just stupid. You just do it right. And that's not tax evasion. These are the facts. You contract with the LLC. The LLC pays you a wage. Your wage is X amount of dollars. Out of X amount of dollars, that's what you live off of. Perfectly legal, perfectly sane. Everything's good. Everything's fine. So when you say millionaire, billionaire tax, there really isn't any billionaires. I mean, I say that lightly, but there really isn't any billionaires. Because their corporations are billionaires.
They're not making $1 billion a year.
They're not making $1 billion a year, right? They're not putting it. It's not like they go down to Wells Fargo and deposit $1 billion. All right? I mean, that just doesn't happen. Right? So every billionaire has no more money than me and you on paper. And that's what people forget. Millionaires, same way. There is no millionaire out there that makes more than you make right now. Okay? They have access to millionaire shit or billionaire shit, but they don't make that. They're not getting, they're not getting a paycheck for $1 billion a year. I'm sorry. Even these celebrities that get $20 million contracts, they're not getting they're getting it written to a corporation that they set up, and then they pay themselves a salary out of that corporation. And it doesn't make them a millionaire. They're really taxing nobody. So it actually hits us in the end. It only hits us in the end. So if you think about it, there's a billionaire tax, a millionaire tax, right? Who are you going to tax? Nobody's a millionaire or billionaire. In reality, that is a true fact. Nobody is a billionaire or a trillionaire personally. And they are, but it's LLC incorporated and it's all moved, And that's what you don't understand about this. So they're selling this dream of taxing nobody. So in reality, the tax is going to fall on us no matter what, because we're the only ones paying in. So, hey, I just had a thought about that, and I just thought it was really strange, and I got to thinking about this, and I'm like, who are you going to tax? You're running around here parading a billionaire tax. Well, there's no billionaires. I'm sorry, but there's just not. There's not even Elon Musk. Elon Musk is not even a trillionaire. Elon Musk himself, as a person, as the guy who gets and opens a refrigerator every day, he is not a trillionaire. He gets a paycheck just like the rest of us.
Right.
Now, am I wrong? I know it's kind of hard to differentiate, but I mean.
No, somebody like Elon, though, if he wanted to, because he's running these companies, he could say, hey, pay me $1 billion that we made last year. But he's not going to do that because he's not going to pay the taxes on a personal level. He's going to let the corporation pay the taxes that they make, and he's not going to pay it personally. So we're not saying that these people aren't actually worth $1 million or aren't actually worth $1 billion. They're just not taking that money out of the corporation and making it a personal income tax. And so these millionaire and billionaire taxes are really not going to hurt very many wealthy people. They're going to hurt the people that are doing well, and like physicians that make a lot of money. They're going to get hurt by this because there's physicians out there that make $1 million a year. Well, they're going to have to pay quite a bit on these millionaire taxes. That's who's going to get hurt. Now, some of you might say that's fine.
But wouldn't they be smart enough to LLC that money? I mean, if you're making $1 million a year as a doctor, I would think that you're smart enough. You're a freaking doctor to LLC the money or to incorporate yourself. You incorporate your own personal name as an MD. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm not a financial wizard.
Well, I'm saying that there probably are some physicians that do that or people like that do that, but not all of them, because a lot of people like that status of, well, I make all this money, and so they want to get paid it every month, or they're living
Okay.
that lifestyle. But when you talk to Elon Musk, he talks about living on his friends' couches for months
Right.
at a time, because he didn't want, he didn't have anything. He was worth in the world financial, he was worth, this was when he was younger, he was worth like $150 million, but he didn't have enough money to pay for rent, because it was all just going back into his company.
Because he was cash
And
poor.
so
He was cash poor.
he was cash poor. And
Right.
that's what you're saying, is that these people are cash poor.
Correct.
They're not necessarily, when we say millionaire and billionaire, we think they have $1 billion of cash. No, they don't have
No.
$1 billion of cash. And most millionaires don't even have $1 million of cash.
No.
They've got it tied up in things that they don't have to pay taxes on.
Right.
So
assets.
That's the point, is that exactly. And so it's going to hurt the people that don't do that. And
Correct.
there's a lot of people that make a lot of money that, just like you said, they don't have the smarts, or they like spending money so much, they're going to get hurt by this because they need that cash flow. So it's an interesting, back and forth there. But I don't think that Elon Musk or Warren Buffett, they're not going to get hurt by this billionaire tax. It's not going to do what the politicians think it will.
Right.
And
Well,
so,
see, when I think millionaire or billionaire, I don't think that they have that. What makes somebody a millionaire, in my opinion, or a billionaire, is when they can walk to the bank and take out $1 million, or they can walk to the bank and take out $1 billion. Okay.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that if you have $1 million cash, you are an absolute hands down millionaire. If you have $1 billion cash accessible, you are a billionaire. Elon Musk can't go take $1 trillion out of the bank. He bankrupt the whole world. But my point is that we're taxing nobody, because I can't believe that somebody actually makes $1 million a year and isn't smart enough to find a better way to do it. But that's between them and their Democratic Party's taxing the shit out of them. But yeah, no, it was just a strange thought. So I thought, we talk about it a little bit, and just the hypocrisy within the Democratic Party. I mean, they're out here toting a tax that doesn't exist. Hey, that's like saying one more quick thought. I gotta tell you this. So my God, I'm watching these things, and there is literally a guy that has, I think, 285,000 out of the 300,000, or he's really close. He's really close to getting his bill. Do you know what the bill is?
What?
Are you ready for this? All right, you got to be sitting down.
Fired up. Okay, I'm sitting.
He wants to get a law that hunters, they have the state will hire hunters to go around and vaccinate the animals, so that the animals don't bring bad things to the people. I shit you not. It's like a real bill. I'm going to follow it, and we'll talk about it again. But yeah, he's got the signatures to do it. So they want to put hunters out there shooting animals with vaccines. They want to vaccinate the animal. This is how crazy the world we live in, brother. This is what we live in.
Yeah, just trying to even follow that. Why? It's just crazy.
But this is the world we live in California. This is it. This is what we got. We're trying to vaccinate animals now. I mean, really? What about where's PETA on this one? You know what I mean? Hey, I don't know. Hey.
Yeah.
They're bear their rights. All right. The bears can do what they want. We don't need to infringe our medical practices on the bear population. So, well, thank you for everybody. Hey, thank you for all your help. Gen X on the Edge. We couldn't do it without you guys. Group is still growing. We're going to break 33, maybe
awesome.
34. We did over 1 million views again last week. Thank you very much. We are still demonetized. That doesn't mean Facebook's not making money on us, but we really appreciate the support. We started this not for the money, and we will continue to do it not for the money. And thank you to G-Man Productions,
because there's no money.
Because there's no money. Right. There is no money. There's not. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Kind of like that millionaire tax. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, same thing.
We don't have to worry about that one.
We don't got to worry about that right now. But anyway, thank you guys all, Newberry, everybody's involved with that group. Thank you so much. Like I said, I don't have any involvement in it. I'm not allowed to. It's just my name on the top, and really, that's about it. I can't do anything, and I apologize. I wish I could. I miss it. I miss the group. I miss the things that go on in there. A lot of really cool videos posted. A lot of really cool stuff. My admins are our admins and moderators. They keep me up to date on it. They forward all my stuff over there. So, but I just want to say thank you to everybody for doing that. Thank you so much for the support. We use it as motivation to continue doing this. Thank you for CDP Firearms for sponsoring and staying with us through this difficult time. And, thank you all, and God bless you. Hey, next Saturday, 250. I mean, it's 4th of July,
250 years.
250 years of the greatest country in the world. And I look forward to that. So thank you guys all very much. God bless you. And, God bless all the troops that are in, or the Air Force that's flying over, dropping these bombs. God bless them, and say a prayer for them. Keep them safe. And, thank you all again. And you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you Wednesday night.
God bless America. We're out.
Don Lemon says that Michelle Obama is better looking than Melania Trump. No.
Well, that's the dumbest damn thing I think I've ever seen.
Yet another G-Man Production Group mini video. Gen X Unhinged. Get your bling now. Looking for quality, performance, and reliability? Look no further than CDP Firearms, LLC. Whether it's customized AR-15 parts, premium optics, or specialized ammunition, we have the gear to upgrade your shooting experience. We pride ourselves on providing top-notch products with expert-friendly service that you can trust. Visit us online at cdpfirearmsllc.com. CDP Firearms. Gen X Unhinged is sponsored by cdpfirearmsllc.com. Gen X Unhinged is a weekly podcast hosted by Christian Cole and David Cole. Join us online at genxunhinged.com, on Facebook at Gen X Unhinged Group, or download on Apple, Spotify, or Amazon Podcast.